always wanted to do that. That was always part of the plan, to be able to have our sessions and everything on site. We have, but one of the buildings that we currently have right now, it's also a school, um, religious space, but not so much to the extent of uh, we're setting one type of religion through everybody. I mean, it's open up for everybody as a chapel. Normal dual military installations. We cover all services available, what we can. What we may not be able to provide with, we'll find something local to be able to provide for the children. Now, we're still in the process of making all of this. We're not in the we don't have anything like done to the point that we can say, yes, hey, we are operational. We are have been generating some sort of income. The income that it's going to be made in this place, it's going to be solely for expansion and
Are you guys
maintenance.
are you a non-profit organization?
I have a, yes, Riverstone Castle is a nonprofit organization which is going to be using family group investments as the uh, portion of it to operate everything in nonprofit.
So I don't mean to interrupt you, but what you're here for is you, I mean, just for simple, you don't want to pay taxes on what you're doing.
I'm not
Are you asking for an exemption on your taxes?
On the buildings that's up there now. Everything that's been built up there now that they've assessed for taxes is what I believe, am I saying this right, is what he
Yeah, of course, and I'll kind of jump in here real quick. So I had happened upon the new construction of this, I believe in around 19 or 20,
Mhm.
and spoke to Mr. Perez on site, and I mean, he was definitely just getting started good. And so over the next 2 years, I would come out and periodically visit also. And then in 2021, I had met with him and I said, I'm gonna at this point, the process has been so lingering. I'm gonna have to put a portion of these buildings on as you know being partially done. So what I've done is all of these are at 40% valuation. So I've got a 60% obsolescence. If you'll notice, like for example, on the back side of the first page, down there toward the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, back front side of the third page, under the functional obsolescence, I've applied a 60% discount. So it would functionally be valuing that particular building at 40% complete, and so 60% not complete. And I've done that on all of those, on all of them structures based on the footprint of them, the base square footage and what they're intended to use them for. So they do have at this point a 40% value of what they would be if they were 100% finished. And that, I believe 21 was the first year that we done that.
21,
Is
yes.
that correct? So, and it's not been changed since then. Uh, which there again, I think it's still under construction by a big part, correct? So,
In 21, most of them had the shelves up, outside structure, and we were working on building interior partitions and things like that.
Would you agree that they're 40% done?
It's not.
Yeah.
At this point right now, yes, they're more than that. They're actually further than that.
Yeah, they're about
So-
65% done about now. By me walking through it
Would
that
you
day.
agree they're at least 40% done?
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely, yes.
How are you handling this on a tax standpoint? How is it flowing? Is it, you filing the LLC for taxes? How are you handling that?
So on the LLC, we have our accountant out of Florida that she's been handling this with my dad. I mean, she's being his tax person forever. So he's the one that does all the taxes and everything through it. This year, we just got the corporation established for Riverstone Castle. Yeah, and that's how it's always been the process of us being able to do it. It's just we didn't have it at the time, and we had to have so many other things in order to have a corporation. And we're like, we don't know when we're going to be finished. So having a board of people sitting around doing nothing, wasting people's time while we are in the process of construction. We don't see it fair to anyone. I mean, from our perspective anyway.
Sure, sure.
So, and we just kept it normal. I mean, at first, the taxes through here were very low. And then
Yeah.
we got our first punch, like, oof, okay,
Mhm.
15,
That's
and
when
then
the
going
building
up.
started going up.
Yes.
So the
Started to
LLC
hurt.
will transfer everything over to Riverstone Castle then?
The LLC will eventually become also a corporation, but we just had it as an LLC to get it started and off the ground. So it will transition as an actual corporation as well. But we were nowhere near ready. Again, you have to have a bunch of little, like board of directors and a bunch of other stuff. And we didn't even have really that much stuff put together.
How long has the nonprofit portion that when did it was all established this year?
This year, because we're
This
getting
year.
closer to the end now that we can start getting all the stuff ready.
These taxes are for the last 2 years, right?
3. Well, this year will be the 3rd year. Actually, no,
No, these are the last 2 years.
Fourth
We
year.
haven't got this year till next year.
correct.
Yeah.
This
So
year,
this
correct.
is for the past 2 years.
3.
3.
I paid 1 and I haven't paid the last 2, which one was 15, then 16, and 16 and some change going up in the 3rd. So this will be the year
So
4th.
this is all before the nonprofit and
Yes.
everything.
Going to a board, this is done only once a year, and it's kind of hard. I mean, I'm like, hey, can we get together? And they're like, we have it in July. I was like, oh man. And in the meantime, your penalties stack up. They're
It
tough.
made a change over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be different from this year going on, I believe. But the last 2 years prior, I don't see any way to change it.
Penalties?
Well, so
I don't
and
know.
I tried to explain to folks whenever they're applying for an exemption, whether it be a church establishment or anything else, that personally I feel as though it's best if these types of properties actually go to the next level, which is at the state tax commission. And reason being is because people like in my position, I I could be voted out in 4 years and that change. Same up here on this board, as far as at least 3 of the 5 that's here, we're subject, of course, to voting. And I'm not saying we don't want to make that decision. What I'm saying is that if you were to come to me and say, hey, I want to apply for an exemption, and I say, okay, yeah, you meet the requirements, we're going to write you off as exempt. As soon as the new person walks in office, if there's not documentation to be able to keep that solidified, then they walk in and day one, you got to repeat the process yet again. So if it's actually deemed as exempt through the state tax commission, then we've got documentation that, and unless something ever changes with ownership or with the way you do the business, then it would remain exempt from that day forward if you get granted the exemption. That would, I mean, that's just, I think, because I don't think that a person in my position ought to be able to just write an exemption. And I don't, I think it protects the taxpayer and it protects, the county both by utilizing that process. And they hear those cases all the time,
Well, you're tied up too on the, like, it is either this, or this. Where does it actually fit in? You don't have too many choices to go ahead and selecting.
No,
So,
you are right. I mean, but the problem with it is because the change of how people operate. And I'm not saying this towards you. I mean, I literally had a guy come to me wanting an exemption for an establishment he had because he wanted to claim that he brought it in. He was a pastor of International House of Bacon. They called themselves a church and they wanted an exemption. I said, no, you got to go through the process. And again, I'm not saying that
no, absolutely, absolutely.
towards you. I just think it's best to protect you
Right.
and your interest in the future endeavor.
And the longevity of what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
And I compliment you on what you're trying to do because
Yeah.
by golly, we need all the religion we can get around
You
here.
bet.
We
And
really
kids
do.
here and
And helping children that need help.
I
And so
think the
we want to
best way
set you up
to
for
stay
success for the long term, not the short term.
Right.
then, if we let the state handle it, then you got something hardcore that
Right.
nobody can go back and change
That's
unless the
right.
state does.
Yeah, the corporation I went through the state. Got approved very fast. There wasn't really no much stuff on it. It was just
Daniel can help you get the next step to go towards the state and apply through them.
Yeah, there is a time frame you'll have to apply from now. I think you have, don't quote me, but I think it's a 60-day window
Yeah.
that you'll be able to apply to state. How long that's going to take is up to them. You know, there's some counties that have thousands of appeals at the state level, but that does protect you. It protects the county, and it protects me from someone being able to say, well, you know, he granted this exemption, but not this exemption, and so on. So,
penalties.
I don't know how that will work. The I would highly ask that you would contact the state tax commission and ask them about that process, because again, it could take up to, you know, maybe a year for them to process through to get to your case, but they might be able to inform.
Sound good.
Yeah. You know, well, we had a case that sat there
Yeah.
for 6 years.
Oh god.
Now, I think if you are on this side of it, constantly spurring them, I think it'll climb up that, because I don't think that that
We
case
will
wanted to
get
be heard.
screwed. That's what I would tell you. You just keep.
Bugging.
Right.
You're not bugging. You're
Squeak,
just wanting
squeaky
an
squeal
answer.
gets the grease.
I would consider that bugging. You're wanting an answer.
Yeah.
Well, sure you are.
And that's their job to give the answer.
I fall through a lot of those things because I'm so tied up and makes it very difficult. I have so many things going on at the same time. It's like, oh, forgot this. Oh, write it down. Oh, forgot my notebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna, someone wanna make a recommendation to send it to the state?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? There you go. That's gonna be your best option. I mean.
And I think the
very
best
seldom
option
you're-
for success,
you're back from it.
truly, for the
I don't
long
think you're
term.
ever- have you
I
ever
respect
been
what you're doing.
rejected?
I truly do.
So
Mercy was.
Mercy was rejected by the state?
Yeah.
That was the only one that I know of. And
They were what?
the state
Okay.
rejected
Their exemption.
their
Really?
exemption. Yeah,
no.
that was the only one that I've been in 15 years. That's a pretty
It
good
should be
number.
that anyway.
It's a pretty good number then of approvals by the state.
So will you be able to walk me through the process?
I can get you in contact with who can. Yes. Yes. Most definitely. Come by and see me or call me. We'll get you into the right. Yep. No problem.
Okay,
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks
Feel
for
like I
coming
mentioned
sir.
everything.
I appreciate what you're trying to do.
We stayed on the vine longer. My grandpa used to tell people.
Collect these papers if I could.
This one?
Yeah. Just so that they don't get mixed up.
I'm gonna take them. There you go.
I didn't know what was going on. I'm delighted that moving forward that way.
It just
Yeah.
It's been going
popped up,
on.
it's been going on for a while, but it just popped up on the radar within the last 6 months.
Next one is Jeffrey Miller. He's supposed to be calling in at 9:30.
They haven't. They haven't been. Yeah, that's. Yeah, you don't do that.
No.
No, you gotta get everything, you tell people.
Did you all just say that he is going to be rated this year as a nonprofit rather than David when he became a
That's not for us to decide.
That's to be the state to decide. I'm assuming that's gonna be the state's responsibility to decide on.
No, what they voted on was to make a recommendation that goes to the next level.
Goes to the next level.
Does he owe anything right now, or can he wait till they decide? I'm just trying to clarify what.
The way it rates now, you got 3 years
This will be the third year because it's behind. It's
So
as of
next
right now. He
year,
owes 22 and 23.
Right.
That is currently owed.
So he would have to pay 22 now and ask for it back.
Yeah.
About the only way to do that would be to pay it under protest.
Mhm.
Gary would, after would mark it that way, but as long as his appeal goes to the state tax commission, I believe it would still be.
Yeah, that was my opinion, but I wouldn't.
Yes.
But if you don't follow through with the process and go to them within the allotted time code, and
That money gets dispersed.
it's
Gone.
dispersed.
I got it right. I'm 16. I got him.
Yeah.
You started.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Reach down here and set this up.
You got somebody calling? Is that mine?
Nobody else.
Yeah, good road.
County clerk's office. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna put you on speakerphone, so bear with me. Can you hear me, Mr. Miller?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, we have the Board of Equalization, and they have your paperwork in front of them. And I guess at this time, if there's anything that you would like to say in your support, now would be the time to do it.
Well, as the letter that I sent stated, this property I bought for $60,000 wasn't livable. It had mold and mildew. The pipes are broken in the ceiling. The ceiling is a rolling ceiling because the sheetrock has dropped from the water staying in there so long. I bought the house because I could get it for $60,000. That's all I can afford. I don't have the money to fix it. Seems like everything that I ask for, people want $5,000 or more to do. The central air doesn't work. I have not done any remodeling to the property. I actually don't even live in the house right now because the air conditioning doesn't work. I don't understand the constant big increases. It's increased 95% from what I bought it at. My second big thing, I've been trying to sell this because to be honest with you, I don't want to live here. It's got a large RV park with a rafting business, moved in 5 years ago. Our traffic, trash, noise, they run karaoke for 6 hours. And we're right next to them. Outside karaoke, by the way. The police say they can't do anything because there's no noise ordinance this far out. Everybody adjacent to the park has filed numerous complaints against them, and the police just say they can't do anything. So I had someone who was going to buy it a couple months ago for $95,000, but he went and talked to the neighbors, and he came back and said, "I don't think I can do it," you know. And I understand. Like I said, I don't want to be here. We're a small gravel road with 8 houses on the road. We had 71 vehicles on the 4th of July come down our road. I know because I got a camera on the gate because of all the theft and vandalism that goes on. So I get a picture of every vehicle that drives by. And that's one of my reasons for, like I said, and if you can get as many people to say, "Oh, this RV park increases your value," but most of them are going to tell you that it decreases any property that is adjacent to the park. We have to go out and pick up trash every day from the traffic. We've got, now that the county has okayed side-by-sides on the road, we've got 20 of those come up and down to become a racetrack. We're right next to the river. But the fact that the house keeps raising up, it's no different than when he first looked at it. Daniel looked at it when he first came out. Like I said, there's no furniture. Well, there's a bed in the back room because when storms come, I'll go back into the house. And there's one room in the house in the winter and one room in the barn in the summer. Because I have a small window unit out there. And it's not your problem. I'm on Social Security. The state keeps saying they're going to help us elderly out, but it never seems to happen. So you guys are going to get me out of there. I'm going to move. These taxes are a Social Security check a year for me. So I'm going to find some little lot of land and throw me a little camper on there and just live my days out. But I still don't think it's right that you keep raising the value of my house every year. And every year I'm told the same thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Daniel says he knows, and that you guys will never agree with me. Which is probably why I understand I'm the only resident appealing to the committee.
Mr. Miller, this is Daniel Whittle. When did I tell you that?
Every time I call you, Daniel.
I have never told you that. I've never once have told you the Board of Equalization would not agree with you. Never.
You're so full of it, Daniel. You give me 2 minutes when I called in this time.
You're right, because you told me it's not worth a dime over 60,000, and I told you there's no way that you and I could come to an agreement. That's exactly what I told you.
No, I said 100,000.
No, okay.
60,000 was back when I bought it.
Sir,
and you just like said 2 minutes. You never had a formal meeting with me and all the increases.
No, you're right. You're right. Because as soon as you called in, you started attacking me, and I told you I'd have to put you through the clerk's office. Because we did deal with this back in 2021 about the valuation changes, and let me kind of explain that. So you're not being picked on, Mr. Miller. Unfortunately, I have sent out 16,421 increase notices this year because the housing market has gone up so much that
It's true.
Why don't you can go online and check the news and the reports. The housing market is taking a tumble. Your prices may keep going up, but housing sales are down almost 50% month to month.
Okay. I'm Judy from Miller Real Estate, licensed real estate broker at Miller Real Estate. Been practicing 47 years, and I strongly disagree with your comments.
Well, that's fine. I can find as many people that will disapprove of your guys' comment.
Oh, I'm sure of that, but I have seen property values grow substantially in this area in the last 5 years. And when people come to me and they have a problem like you have right now, there's a couple of questions I would want to think about. Is number one is, have you had your property appraised so that you can see what the true market value is at this time?
I've tried to, because at one time you guys told me I had to get a certified appraiser. They told me it'd be $500. I don't have $100.
Mr. Miller, I again, this is Daniel Whittle speaking again. If I was to hire a certified appraiser to appraise the property, would you be willing to settle with the value that they come up with?
I'm not. I'm gone. I'm going to have the property auctioned off. And then you guys can deal with whatever the auction gets for it, because I guarantee you it won't be a lot.
Well, I'm not trying to be argumentative. But the problem is again, I've had to send out 16,400 of these. Everybody is facing the same increase as what you're facing here, and the issue is me as the assessor, and I'm not talking on behalf of the board, but me as the assessor, I can't just change yours because you strongly disagree with me. You know, and I have been out to your property. I have visited the property. You and I did reach an agreement back in 2021. But now I will tell you that land values have increased by 25% over the last 3 years, and the improved values have increased by probably 30 or 35% in the last 3 years. And again, I'm not being argumentative. I mean, that's simply stats that I have to keep up with. when it comes to valuation through mass appraisal.
Over.
Have you ever listed your property through a real estate company? Have you got anybody to run a
Comparative market analysis.
right CMA? Has anybody ever ran you a CMA, Mr. Miller, to kind of give you a rough estimate of what your property should be worth, possibly?
No, I haven't, and I don't like to have people out. I am pretty much on my deathbed, so anytime I get sick, it's whether I live or not. I've got cancer, diabetes, and I'm like I said, I just called in to voice my opinion about how you guys are doing things. I talked to my neighbors. Nobody got a 17% increase. And if you go look at, I've got 3 close neighbors in the RV park. If you go look, 2 of the neighbors, they're living in by 12 storage buildings. One of them had mowed his yard. It used to be homeless people living in this homeless camp down there. Now it's a couple 2 illegal immigrants. The other house next to it it's a nicer storage building, but they're living out of a storage building. That's what we're having to do just to survive. So I'm like I said, people told me you guys would never change your mind, so that's fine. I just wanted to get my voice in because, like I said, you've been running the elderly out of homes for a long time. You know, the government keeps saying we're going to do something about it, but they never do. So I'm going to go buy a camper on a little 5-acre lot and just sit out there and suffer because that's
Mr. Miller,
all I can afford. It's not your problem.
Did you apply for the senior tax freeze?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything back.
Well, if you get approved for that, Mr. Miller, then your taxes will not go up to this new value. If you've been approved on that status, which considering the fact that you haven't built nothing new on your property, I'm certain you probably have been approved. They're working on trying to get those letters sent back out. Your physical taxes will not be higher than what they were last year, and that is something the county has done to help protect the seniors in this area because it was the county's option to be able to adopt that or not.
I know the state implemented the property tax refund. And I asked you should give me paperwork for that, and they said it was the wrong paperwork, and so I never got that either. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It'd be great you don't raise it fine. I'm not staying here. You guys don't know how bad having an RV park next to you is. And it wasn't there when I bought the property. Everybody wants out. Neighbors looking for another place.
Unfortunately, that's a problem we have when we don't have zoning in the area out in the county.
I understand that. That's what I see when I buy outside to be fixed up because that's all I can afford. And I understand like this one, there's no permit system in this county, so I wouldn't live in the house if I could afford something else. People that put in the electric and the plumbing. So I'm like I said, I'm just voicing. You guys don't. I didn't expect anything from you, but I just want to. It's my right to voice my opinion. Because like I said, seriously, I won't be here next year. If I could find someone, I've got a building that's full of junk that was left by the people 10 years ago, but I can't. I don't have money for a dumpster or stuff. I had a big bonfire and burn everything that'll burn. And if I get that stuff out, I can auction the house off. Seriously, I can't live here. It's killing me more than I already am. The stress is. We live on a gravel road and we eat dust. We can't even go outside for picnicking because of the dust.
Well, really, there's not much we can do if we apply for the senior.
It's not going to get any better. So that's my problem. But you're going to say there's people that say, oh yeah, having that recreational area increases your value. You can find just as many people that's going to tell you it decreases by 20% or more if you're adjacent to the property.
I would not disagree with that, Mr. Miller. I'm not being argumentative. I mean, I would I would understand that if I wanted to live out there in the peace and quiet by myself and not have rowdy neighbors all summer long. I fully understand that.
Well, they're building, as you probably know, they're building Airbnbs everywhere out here.
Yes, sir.
They're building 5 more. I'm sitting on the road because the phone doesn't work at the house. Sitting on the road where they're building 5 cabins.
Yeah.
And that access goes right down to where I'm at, is where they go to get into the river. So
Right.
I said, but I just want to voice my opinion. You guys got your opinions, but I've never in 50 years, I've always appealed most of my deals, and it was is it went down and met with the people. I'm sorry I didn't have pictures for you guys. I had pictures at Walmart. I didn't know it takes 2 weeks to develop film, but I guess because nobody uses film anymore. So I would have had pictures. The big building is deteriorating. They wanted 4,500 to replace the siding on the building because it's just all rotten out. I don't know how old this property is. They're old houses, but
I wonder if he's ever wrong.
I will never be able to fix it up in my lifetime. So I'm just going to have them auction off and take whatever I get, you know.
Yes, sir. Well, and
hate
so let me kind of go over some particulars with you, Mr. Miller, just so you maybe know and understand kind of where I have to sit. I do show the house was built in 1983, so you're right. It's not a new structure by any means. We have a total living area on the home of 1,840 square foot, and so at the end of that places a $41 per square foot value on your house. And you know, it right now, the way that we have to evaluate property is roughly we have to take in consideration what it would cost for someone to hire a general contractor today to build a brand new house minus the age and depreciation. And so, you know, you're $185 a square foot right now to have a home built. You know,
Or more.
yeah. And so that's what we have to compare to, kind of like how an insurance company also does, you know, for like replacement costs of how much do you have to insure your home for. So I mean, I have, Mr. Miller, I have worked on this. I have worked on your file many times over the last 4 years, trying to get resolution with you, to find a happy median that would be a reasonable offer. Because if you remember when I came out to your property, you brought me in that sunroom there and showed me some of your sheetrock issues, and so therefore I was able to do some devaluing based on condition. You know.
I'm serious to you. The house is exactly as it was 8 years ago, or will be in 8 years.
Yes, sir.
There's no furniture in the house. The house is completely empty except for, like I said, a small bed in the back room for when the storms come.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just saying it's not your problem. I don't have the money to do anything. When you get on Social Security, it's just not there. But
Right.
I've got an auctioneer coming out this afternoon, and he might have some ways to get this stuff out of here because they're auctioning it, you know.
Right.
If the RV park's running, I don't think that's going to help, you know. You say maybe do it during the winter time, and I'm like, I don't care. Just do it, and you know. I appreciate you guys' time. I know you got to do what you got to do, and I just, like I said, I've dealt with this for 50 years, and this is the first time I've run into this, you know. Like I said, if I know your real estate lady thinks everything's gorgeous and great, but home sales are down 49% on the news this morning. And that's month by month. I know they go from what it was last year. And it's only going to get worse, but that's not your problem. That's my problem.
Well, hopefully,
I appreciate you guys' time. I know you got some businesses to take care of, but
well, hopefully, Mr. Miller, you get some good news that you get your senior citizens tax break letter in the mail any day. So we appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, Daniel,
Yes, sir.
you all look different to me.
Well,
That's the house?
yeah. No,
No.
this is a shop. This is a garage type shop that's got an area that's
3 months, yeah, there was told
livable.
about, there was
And then this is a
Perez, which
basement
was,
house.
would have been
Okay.
6.
Yeah, and so we've got this at no more
We
than,
were
now, don't get me wrong,
right on
you know, the
time.
photos, when you get up close, I mean, there's some deferred maintenance, you know, that needs to be.
Me too, Jim.
I did time for how much time to allow for this today.
Well, what I was hoping was for like 15 minutes.
You get these back,
Yeah,
this one goes back to you.
this will be fun.
Sometimes the property values haven't risen.
Oh my God, I lost the house. Judy, I completely
The market goes
did
up
the
and
plumbing
down.
in the
And
house
this isn't as good a
last
year as
month.
last year.
That brought, house
You know
brought
why?
$100,000.
Because people coming in.
It's
But our property values have
crazy.
increased.
So it does this and this and this.
I'm seeing, I've been seeing some new houses go 200.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm building a new house right now myself, and it's gonna cost me probably 145 to 150.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was looking,
100%
I was on houses yesterday and the cost per square foot was, and this was prior on home was right at $205 a square foot.
Mind boggling.
Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is.
Another good one.
This has been a great area to own real estate.
It is, yeah. Yeah. And they're talking like interest rates might be coming down, so that's gonna
Which is,
spur another.
no, he's not related to me. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
for the circle.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, Russ.
No.
Well,
Good
that-
observation.
This is a multifamily,
No,
these are
absolutely not.
duplexes. For the circle, I believe it is.
He's the black sheep of the family.
Multiple units plus their,
It's what, what's the wrong?
plus their office.
Their office?
Their office has been basically.
So what they're making money off an office, they want.
Well, there's a question coming out today about that. It should be, you know, if they
Should
want,
be on.
well, we'll be on commercial, and get done, maybe.
Yeah,
10 mile per.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is duplex over on the log curve circle, the other than office building.
Section 42 property.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was.
Oh, yeah,
Property values in that neighborhood.
This is Eddie from Pulaski
That's the low income.
Low income housing.
Gives them part of the money.
Oh, okay.
Right, and
So what
so
makes it,
it's a section 42 property. And
they still get their money,
tax
right?
it should be based off of their income. Yeah.
That's a good deal on that.
Yeah, I'd like to have a couple of them.
Unless you own property in Woodland Hills.
I'm going with that. That's
You own
good.
property in
You
Woodland
get one of
Hills,
them?
your property value.
She had an appointment for the Board of Equalization hearing this morning. And the board was ready for her. And so if she would just call, she should have the
Well,
number.
the 42,
We
the
just move on
problem I
to
have
the next
is,
one and let her call in later.
so if I have duplexes, and I rent out the normal
573.
people, I pay
No, it's
normal tax.
774.
But if I rent out, well, the
4715.
state's gonna, someone's gonna pay part of it, so they're gonna pay part of it.
If it
Why would they
goes
get
to
a
the auto attendant.
I agree.
yeah,
I'm just gonna explain it.
Believe it or not, there's a statute that covers that, though.
Yes, so really.
There is.
What's that statute say?
I can't remember all the details, but they are able to
Everyone here rents.
be placed under income approach value, which is, it's legit, but it's not legit because, and I'm just gonna throw an example out there. If, well, not only that, but could you imagine being a neighboring property to this, it's having to pay full rate?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been under this since 2018, 2017. But one thing that's really impressive on what they submitted is they projected their overall cap rate at 12 and at 12.55%. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't even a 7.75 on something so solid be?
That's pretty substantial.
I think
Right.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would think this is an extremely low risk investment, being portion of their funding physically is subsidized by the federal government. I run a real quick cap rate this morning, and I'm being extremely liberal when I say a 7.3% cap rate right now, based on the effective tax rate and it being residentially assessed at 19%. And by changing just the cap rate on what they've calculated here, well,
That should make the value of that go up substantially.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, what is the average for the county? You know, that you cap rate on this type of property? It wouldn't be, it'd be what? It'd be under 10%.
It would definitely be under 10%.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. So what would the loan interest rate on something that would be to an investor on a property like this, where they've got
It'd be tied to prime in some way.
would it?
Yeah, the prime right now is 7.5, so it's in that area between 7.5 and 8.
Okay.
So it's going to be higher than if it was for a single family residential home
Gotcha.
person, because it's commercial rates.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of different financing options.
Right. No. But even like the guy that you're gonna hear here in just a moment on the Cracker Barrel building up here, I mean, he's projected a cap rate of 7.5 or 7.6%, you know? And I would think that something
That's
like,
realistic.
yeah,
Yeah. 12 is not.
right. Yeah. So I've never in 10 years have I ever seen anybody try to get a 12.55% cap rate on income to approach, you know.
I agree.
Even hotels and motels, I mean, they'll be less than 10% on a bad year, you know, on a 25-year-old hotel. I mean, these things here are
They're all
9 years old. 8 years.
silent.
People gonna wait to have it all in and out.
So, but the office is on.
It is, and the way that I have done this in the past is I have
Office door.
it is now, and I've called several other assessors and tried to find out how they also do theirs. Some do separate the office out, carve it out as a commercial piece with the land and the building be on it as commercial. Some assessors make claim, well, you know, without that office and the day-to-day operations, you know, they have to have that area to be able to.
Is this zone multifamily?
It is.
Zone.
Yeah. And it's, of course, residentially assessed. Yeah.
Which facility you're dealing with now, sir?
Waynesville Family Homes.
Okay. Well, the representative from Waynesville Family Homes, I can't get a hold of her. So I thought we would move on to the next one, which is South Central Missouri Community Health Center, otherwise known as Four Rivers. I just tried to call him, see if he was available early. I had him scheduled for about 15 minutes from now, or right at 10 o'clock. But he goes to voicemail, so we're waiting on a call back from him. So let
I'm
me,
gonna go use the restroom real quick.
okay, so this will be a good time for a break, if anybody needs to take a quick break. So we'll hold on to those for just a second in case you need to hold back.
I took my break before the break.
I took a break before we came in here, but some new bill he gave me. Diabetes.
I can just get you to put your
I didn't
name
hear what
and
was written.
sign.
I'm a floor like
Not wait.
Oh.
And if you would print your name and sign.
It could be worse.
24th today.
24th.
24, 25. How about that?
Saw a meme on Facebook yesterday that said Christmas will be on 25, 25, 25.
Oh, that's
One of,
right.
one of those.
Yeah.
Like the one where they said something will happen this year that will never happen for another 150 years. Halloween will fall on Friday the 13th.
That's good. There you go.
Sheriff will be busy. Yeah. Judy, I have kind of noticed homes are sitting a little low now in this area in certain price
There's
ranges.
no doubt about it. Home values have come up substantially since 2020. But in the last 3 months, I have seen them start to come down a little bit. Certainly not what he's talking about, but a little bit because things are sitting on the market longer and I'm seeing price decreases more quickly right now. I will tell you the price range that is really moving right now pretty much is your 300,000 plus range is moving much slower. Under your 300 range, it's still doing very well.
Yeah, that's what
Unless it's got additional land with it.
Unless it's not additional, yeah.
If they got a 20-acre tract, they're still just.
Well, I feel sorry for that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I really do, but there's really nothing
Yeah.
anybody can do. He can file his tax paperwork just like I did that said I want my taxes back to where they were last year. You know, hopefully he's at least that age.
Right. He is, yeah. And I had never told a taxpayer that the Board of Equalization will not agree with that. You know, it's not, that's why, and I can't hold my tongue when somebody says something that's not the truth. It's-
Well, that's why when you say the trucker, right? So I am a realtor. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of.
You know, that took me by surprise. Oh, I totally disagree with you.
What is today, 20?
24. How's the kids doing? Okay, I guess.
Yeah, Ian's gonna kind of looking to move down towards Springfield, Marshfield. The only way I owns property down there.
What's he wanting to do down
They wanted to rent for a while.
Ah,
Marshfield or even Springfield if they can
That's
find
what we
something.
just wrong.
Springfield, you're competing with college kid
Yeah.
prices.
He's driving back and forth.
Oh, okay. What's he
He works in Springfield. He graduated with a degree in diesel technology. So he's working for a diesel place. Tech. He's doing real well, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and set family homes there aside.
Okay.
This one. This
I give mine to Daniel already.
Here in just a minute.
Set it aside.
Oh, take it.
Four Rivers.
Set it.
Behind the swimming pool?
Yep.
What it used to be called?
Sir.
It's a brand new building. Well, it used to be South Central Missouri Community Health Center. And I believe what his basic thing is, he is not contesting the value. He is just asking for a tax exempt status.
Correct.
That's exempt, huh?
And so as you guys heard me a while ago, he last year was the first year that they were taxable. They built the building in 23. Last year was the first year that it became assessable. And so they received an increase notice last summer.
Okay.
Last fall, when they received their tax statement, of course, they called and was furious. Said, "Oh, we're tax exempt." I said, "Sir, you're not. I mean," and that's when that process started. But now Mercy lost their case whenever they appealed it to the state tax commission over being exempt. So Mercy, state tax commission ruled in favor of Pulaski County and
On this
the
one?
other, no, on Mercy.
Oh, yeah, Mercy, yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't think Mercy would be taxing.
They thought they would be, but they've appealed. Yeah.
That's what we found?
Well, I think they gave $5 million and change to charity, year before last, but when you have a gross profit of like $890 million, that's a small portion. Maybe it's 1.9 billion.
Yeah, it sounds more like it.
Yeah.
We had a pretty lengthy trial over it.
They employ 9,000 people
Same families,
in a.
for them
Yeah.
to stay.
I think it'd be best personally, because here's the deal: none of us specialize enough in to be able to, including myself, because there's a three-pronged test called the Franciscan test to be able to decide whether or not something
That's the
ought
one
to
that's
be
got the,
tax exempt. That's religious,
St. Louis.
and that's school, and the third is can't even remember, because again, I try not to put myself in that situation where I'm granting an exemption, because I don't feel as though me as an individual ought to be able to do that.
But if you're a nonprofit, doesn't that mean at the end of the year, you're at zero, right?
Not
Or
necessarily.
there's a certain percentage.
Not necessarily. So you can apply to you as Andy Helms can come up with Gig and Frogs LLC and apply for a nonprofit organization through the state, and you'll be granted it. It means you don't pay taxes on the product you purchase.
Through that.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Good morning. Yes,
Good
this is
morning.
Robbie.
Okay.
Morning.
This is Dave Ernst, County Clerk. I'll introduce you to the members of the Board of Equalization. You've got your Pulaski County Commissioners, Gene Newkirk, Presiding Commissioner, Andy Helms, Western District Commissioner, Kevin Davis, Eastern District Commissioner, Bob Hyatt, he's with Security Bank, and Judy Miller with Miller Realty. They are the voting members of the Board of Equalization. Non-voting members are Daniel Whittle, Assessor, and myself, Dave Ernst, as County Clerk. So I'll let you go ahead and take the floor.
First and foremost, it's an honor and privilege to have an opportunity to present our requests respectfully to the board. Please forgive us. I was not aware that we would be calling and be in this format, but that's perfectly fine. I know you're all very busy and want to be respectful of your time. Again, my name is Robbie Davis. I serve as the CFO of Four Rivers Community Health Center. Our official IRS name is South Central Missouri Community Health Center, doing business as Four Rivers Community Health Center. We are headquartered out of Rolla, Missouri. We have locations and clinics that serve the 5-county area of Pulaski, Crawford, Dent, Marys, and Phelps counties. We have clinics in Salem, Cuba, St. Robert, and obviously in Rolla as well. The reason for our gathering this morning is that we have built a new
clinic facility located on Park Drive there in St. Robert, Missouri. We are located next door to the Compass Health Center, which we originally started out. We were a tenant of that organization during the time we were building our clinic there in St. Robert. Since our opening with the new clinic at St. Robert, we have been able to serve both the medical, dental, and behavioral needs of those that are underserved in the Pulaski County and surrounding communities. We are formed as a nonprofit 501c3. We are recognized and as a federally qualified health center. So we are governed by HRSA, which is the federal government, which controls and governs what an FQHC does. But the bottom line is we were served a real estate tax notice due for our building in 2024. We respectfully paid that in protest. We believe that we are a nonprofit entity. We're recognized as such in all of the other counties that we provide these services in. And I just respectfully request your reconsideration of finding us. Also, as a tax exempt organization, I have prepared and sent a packet that includes a lot of various documentation. I realize you're all seeing this for the very first time. Certainly, again, don't want to overwhelm you and want to be respectful of your time. But again, we feel very confident that we should be recognized by the Pulaski County assessor and collector as a tax exempt organization, therefore not liable for any real estate or personal property tax. So again, my name is Robbie Davis. I've served as the CFO here for a little over 3.5 years. I am open for any questions, any comments, but just respectfully request your favorable consideration.
Mr. Davis, this is Daniel Whittle, County Assessor. And,
hello, Mr. Whittle.
How you doing, sir?
Marvelous.
It's been a long time coming, but we're finally here, huh?
Well, you know, you guys have got a very tough job, and I'm hopeful that you have found us to be very respectful and working together with you in getting to this point. Again, what our goal and mission is to serve the underserved in these counties that we have the opportunity to provide service to. Most of these folks are either uninsured or they have Medicaid services, and that's primarily what we work with, Mr. Whittle. So,
Sure.
What questions would you have of me, sir?
So is your facility open to the public?
It is open to the general public. We accept all forms of insurance, both Medicaid, Medicare, but again, we are established as a federally qualified health center, and that in itself, being governed by HRSA, allows us some privileges that are not necessarily extended to a general practice outside of that FQHC formation.
Sure. So I'm just going to repeat, and I didn't come up with this question. This was just a question that came up at the Mercy Clinic hearing that was at the state level. And so please forgive me. I'm not trying to sound argumentative, but it does put things in perspective for me. You know, I think of a 501c3. Of course, that qualifies you to be tax exempt from sales tax and other taxes of that sort. But
Use tax, withholding tax, yes, sir.
correct. So that is separate from personal property and real estate tax. But one of the questions that came up in the Mercy appeal is if an individual was to pay their bill at your desk with a check and that check does not clear the bank, are you going to seek prosecution?
No, sir. And I will also share with you that we extend to our community what is known as a sliding scale fee. We have fees that are established for whatever level of service that is provided, whether it's dental, medical, or behavioral health, based upon their ability to pay does not influence our decision to treat, nor does it impact our treatment to them.
Right. No, you're right. And I would definitely agree with that. But now if an individual say they had medical insurance and then they had a copay and your facility billed them and they send a check for payment and that payment does not clear the bank, are you not going to say you guys do not say no to collection?
Again, no, sir. Okay. None whatsoever. In fact, Mr. Whittle, just as of year to date, I've had the opportunity to present to my board of directors, which I report to each and every month. We have year to date written off, and I will highlight that again, written off $987,000 worth of charges.
Just at the St. Robert location?
That is in our overall organization. That includes St. Robert, but that is not just the St. Robert location.
What percentage of revenue is that equate to?
Yeah. What's the gross?
Probably 5 to 7% of billed charges, not revenue, and we can get into the revenue discussion. I've tried to provide to you. I'm very hesitant to expose my entire financial position to you all. I do want to share that oftentimes we're looked at as a free clinic, a subsidized clinic that is fully paid for with grants and so forth. That's not the case. We work very hard to develop programs that are self-sustaining.
Well, thank you very much for clarifying that. I appreciate that.
Now, if I may, what is your position as far as taxability on our neighbor Compass Health?
I would have to go back and look at that, Mr. Davis. I can't honestly not recall that situation.
I would
appreciate
knowing that.
Sure, yeah. They also appealed here back in 2021, I believe it was.
And may I respectfully just ask what was your position on their request?
My position as the assessor, of course, initially they were putting the situation you are here. They were not exempt, and the issue with that was they were initially trying to claim an exemption on an empty piece of property on the
Sure, and I get that, I've learned that you all have taught me a lot, Mr. Whittle, with that. So I understand that that's not an appropriate request, but
correct.
we're in full operation with a full state-of-the-art clinic that I'm hopeful adds value not only to the community but to those that visits community as well, Mr. Wills.
Yes, sir. Yep, definitely. Yep.
So, Mr. Davis, you mentioned Phelps County, you're tax exempt, and Dent County. Did you ever go through the process? One of the things that we can do here is refer you to the state tax commission and let them make a final decision. Have you went through that process in any of those other counties, or were you granted the tax exemption by the county level?
The latter. I've never had to go to this length in any of those other counties. This is the only one, Pulaski County.
Yes, and you did disclose that to me whenever we spoke last November, whenever you guys had received the tax bill. So I would affirm that you did also tell me that.
Well, I know. What's your ownership structure? What's it? It's set up as a 501c3, but is it owned by a group of people, or what's the ownership of it?
It is a self-organized entity. It's not owned by shareholders or investors or a parent company. It was formed by a HRSA base grant. It's also known as a 330 grant back in 2014. It was a collection of folks much like yourselves that saw a need in the community to develop an entity that could help provide medical and dental and behavioral health services to those who are in need that do not have necessarily commercial insurance, may have no insurance at all. So that group formed South Central Missouri Community Health Center, and again started in 2014, and we are again. It's not dictated, but the state says or allows us to cover a 5-county area, and with that, we have now grown to the locations I said at the onset, but our organizational structure is self-perpetuating, if that makes any sense. So it is not a parent or not owned by a parent company, not a subsidiary of a company, not owned by shareholders or any members whatsoever. It is a self-contained proprietary entity.
That's very clear.
Mr. Davis, also, is there any type of an incentive program with the practitioners, doctors, nursing staff, or anything over referrals to other medical clinics or for further testings?
None whatsoever.
Okay. And is there an ability in place to be able to basically confirm that? or to substantiate that? Because I do. 'Cause I'm just going to be frank with you. You know, with Mercy, I think I had talked to you about Mercy Clinic last year, and it was and the state tax commission had reached that verdict just about 30 days prior to you and I speaking in November. Mercy had appealed here, and the appeal had been the process had taken nearly 5 years for the state to finally actually hear the case and make a ruling on it, and they were deemed as non-tax exempt when it came to real estate taxes, and there was a lack of proof in some of the disclosures, and therefore that has kind of changed the perception of whether or not, you asked about your neighboring property there at Compass Health. Quite frankly, I'm going to have to go back because that kind of sets a precedence, in the process of how we have to look at this. You're at this point you're a direct competitor with Mercy, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you probably agree with that statement? You guys,
No,
right?
sir, none whatsoever. None whatsoever, and I appreciate you trying to provide an analogy, but you're comparing apples to oranges, Mr. Whittle. Mercy is above and beyond anything that we would ever could imagine to be. I'm trying to use Compass as more of a comparison than I would Mercy, with all due respect. Um, Mercy is in it for profitability. We are in it to serve those that are underserved, underprivileged. Um, we're having we're trying to serve Medicaid based population. We're providing oral surgery to 15-year-olds that have never brushed their teeth in their lives, and they've had to have every tooth in their head extracted out and placed with dentures because they've never been taught how to brush their teeth, nor have they been able to see a provider that accepts Medicaid. Mercy does not accept Medicaid patients whatsoever. These are the people that are left behind. These are the people that are not seen by a Mercy or a Cox or a BJC. These are the underserved and the underprivileged.
Sir, our Mercy Clinic does accept Medicaid and Medicare both. But I mean,
Sir, I will respectfully share with you, Medicaid is not their preference. They may take it, but it's not their preferred method.
Oh no, I would. Yeah, you're exactly right. They definitely are out to make a profit. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'll guarantee you that. So, and I want to be as respectful to you as I possibly can. I get it. You're all fighting for your tax dollars. You've got roads and bridges and things that you need to. I get it, but I'm also. I don't want you to be lumping me in with a Mercy conglomerate. We're not even remotely close to something like that. And all we're doing, if I would give you a comparison, it would probably be the Compass Health building right beside of us that's taking folks in off the street that's got mental and behavioral health issues and trying to provide services to them. That is probably the best apple to apple comparison that I could provide to you.
Right.
What's your thoughts, Steve?
And
That feels like March.
I think their services are desperately needed here in the area. I see people from all walks of life, those that have trouble figuring out. They go to the senior citizens dinner for lunch every day because it's a $5 lunch. And that gives them their main meal for the whole entire day. And then they can complement with cereal or fruit or what have you. We have a definite need in our community for somebody that provides these services.
And I appreciate that. And I do want to share with you one of our board members. Some of you may know his name is Don Payne. And if you've got any questions about the types of services we provide to your and our community, Don Payne would be an unbiased person that you could direct any questions to that might help you understand what the goals and objectives of Four Rivers Community Health Center is.
Would you, Mr. Davis, would you have basically just a rough estimate of patients or people that are seen there without getting into HIPAA, of course, folks that are of basically zero pay or no pay or little pay versus insured? Is there a substantial? Is it heavily weighted towards the first mentioned Medicaid and or sliding scale type patients?
It is in excess of 50% of our business. It's more like 60 to 75%. And I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds with you on that, but that is our focus and that is our primary care. I cannot tell you exactly for St. Robert, but from an organizational perspective, now keep in mind, our Cuba location is just opening, so there's no information involved in this number from there, but this would be Rolla, Salem, and St. Robert. Last year, we did almost 65,000 visits serving the community needs. So they were primarily in Phelps, Dent, and Pulaski County.
And you all do not provide pharmaceutical care, correct? You guys do not have medications and a pharmacy there?
We just opened a pharmacy in January of 2025. And it is located in our Rolla 18th Street clinic.
I see a definite need.
Sure. I see the need, but I mean, are we gonna vote for them to be tax exempt or are we gonna refer them to the state? That's what, I think that's the decision we have. Where we're standing. That's where we have to make.
We do have one similar, like COMC. They have met all that criteria many years ago. And like you mentioned, Compass.
Are they all tax exempt?
They are as of right now. But like I said, the COMC, I think that they got referred to the state well before my time. And they proved their case. The Compass Health, I do believe that got done at the county level based on the other counties that they were also in was also tax exempt. And Mercy, I don't know.
Really no comparison to Mercy.
No. You're right. You're right. other than if I was providing a service and I was getting hit, 100%, and my direct competitor would be opposite of that. It would be salty,
That would be.
Mhm.
But there again, if one's seeking after one thing, serving the public, and the other one's seeking after profitability, there is a difference there.
Thank you.
Big difference.
Tough decision.
Is that something we have to make today or?
No, I don't. Right? They don't have to make a decision on it today. They take the ball around and maybe even talk to other.
They would just have to do something before.
Physically closing.
Or you just table it then, is that what you do?
But being officially closed today or closed, or when was the Board of Equalization closed?
The equalization is supposed to close by July 31st.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, we, today.
Dave, what's that date again?
July 31st. Statute says you shall close on or before July 31st. The legal counsel for the state tax commission says shall is not definite. Subject.
Recommendation. Yes. That's what we said.
That's what I had.
I think I'd like to mull it over just a little bit.
I want to think about it a little bit. I think we need to consider it just a little bit longer than 15 minutes.
You want to table it, and then have a time to talk about it a little bit, and then maybe set sometime to a conference call, something like that.
The only problem is we all get going different directions. And if I'm in the middle of the two,
If we
you
could do a
can't
call
find.
like next Thursday.
Yeah.
Conference call next Thursday
That'd
I'm
be
fine
fine.
with it,
in the
yeah.
morning.
That's
That way you all will be at your office or whatever,
Right.
but you can talk for just a little
Sure,
bit.
sure.
30.
I would like that.
Or if you got time to come over, whatever, it's up to you. If you wanna call in or come over.
Okay. Next
Seems
Thursday.
like I've got a
Next Thursday,
meeting
do
next
early.
Thursday, but I'd be available by phone.
Okay.
So
I mean, even if we need to come in at 8:30 or whatever to accommodate you guys.
Yeah.
So Thursday at 9 a.m.
Or a little before.
Okay, at 8:30. Thursday at 8:30.
Would that work better for
That's fine.
Yeah.
Thursday at 8:30.
Thursday at 8:30?
Let's plan on it.
Okay, Mr. Davis, you hear what they're doing? They're going to table their decision. They're going to get more information and kind of mull it over a little bit, and then they're going to make their determination. They're going to meet again on the 31st, and they'll make their final decision by that date.
Would you like for me to join on Thursday, or is that a closed session for you?
Yeah, so
Now, that would be
that
open.
would be open.
Okay, I didn't know, if you had, additional questions. First and foremost, let me sincerely thank each one of you for your time and your service. I know I don't take this request lightly any whatsoever. I also encourage you, if you do have questions and you do know Don Payne, reach out to him. In addition, if you have questions that you would like to ask of me, my email is rdavis@4rivers, that's FOUR rivers.org. And my personal cell phone is 573-201-9658. I would be honored and privileged to answer any questions to help you make the best and most informed decision for Pulaski County.
All right, that's all.
Do we need the information for Don Payne? Does anybody have any questions for him? Sir, do you have Mr. Payne's, contact info?
Yeah, he may not want it given out.
Yeah,
We
if he don't,
we do have media in the room and there is a live stream going on, so.
yeah,
Oh, well, you didn't,
yeah,
it, it's all good. If you would like, if someone would like to reach out to Don,
just contact
text me again at 573-201-9658, and I will get that information, for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you all. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you again for your
I
time.
want to say this before he hangs up.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Davis, this is Daryl Marina. I'm one of the reporters here in this room. Gene was not legally required to notify you media or present, but it's probably a good idea, and I think he'll notify the next guy.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're under no obligation to tell people on the phone. You gave the public notice. That's all you legally had to do.
Yeah, it's a public hearing.
Public hearing.
You legally did everything you need to do.
I mean, he doesn't have to understand that. If it's a public hearing, he ought to know
Mhm.
it's public. Well, it's a public hearing.
It's the same, but you're at every right to do what you did.
And no, it's not
And I
going.
think that's probably the right thing because we don't need people's personal information given out necessarily.
When he started talking about issues that were driving financials, he clearly didn't understand it was a public meeting. That's his problem.
Okay, this is
everything right.
This is Waynesville Family Homes. Allison? Okay, sorry about the delay. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. No, that's quite all right. Okay, Allison, this is Dave, Orange County Clerk. I'll introduce you to the other board members of the Board of Equalization. We have Presiding Commissioner Gene Newkirk, Western District Commissioner Andy Helms, Eastern District Commissioner Kevin Davis, Citizen Member Bob Hyatt from Security Bank, Judy Miller from Miller Realty. Non-voting members are myself and Daniel Whittle, Assessor. So they have your packet in front of them with your information. So if you'd like to go ahead and start your presentation.
So this property is actually a Section 42 property, which usually they are required to be calculated based off of income and expense. So that's what I had sent in, and then I had also sent in a calculation of what we thought the appraised and assessed value should be based off of the last 3 years of income and expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Judy from Miller Real Estate. We had a piece of property that was listed just this week in this particular subdivision. And just one side of the duplex was listed at 140,000. So that would be 280 for the total project, for the total building. Now, while I feel like that might be a little bit high, it's not really far off. And I realized appraised value, basically in our area, it's worth two things. It's one, what's what somebody's willing to pay for it, and it's the other, what they can get financed on it. But I am seeing I'm thinking the appraised value is totally per building is somewhere in the neighborhood of that. I'm going to say probably 250 to 260,000 per building.
Okay, and is that based off of income and expenses or just the area?
That's based off property values and what's sold and resold in that area with these units that you have there. Because they're two-sided, we have the ability to go 100% financing going VA. And so therefore, I understand that you have appraised values, but I really feel like the true marketability of that property is somewhere in that range of I'm going to say, 250 to 260,000 per building.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't doubt that at all. I just know that with the program that these units are in, that it is a requirement that it's not based off of the surrounding properties or what they've been sold for, that they need to be calculated only based off of income and expenses.
How many buildings?
21.
21.
And this
Is
is,
any one of these buildings, is there an office in any one of these buildings?
there is.
Yeah.
And is there under the statute that you're wanting to clarify on this? Is there well, first off, this is Daniel Whittle, Pulaski County Assessor,
Yes.
and I have not seen an income and expense sheet from Waynesville Family Homes since I believe 2017.
Okay, it was in the email that I had sent.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got it. I've got it in front
Okay.
of me now. My point is, you know, rather than us battling this out in Board of Equalization, if we could have had an informal appeal and someone present me, because honestly, this ought to get reevaluated every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I'm seeing that really sticks out to me is the projected 12.55% cap rate.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a cap rate of that extent in the 10 years I've been in office. And
Okay, well, what's the cap rate that you guys are using?
A realistic cap rate that I've come up with here in Pulaski County would be a 7.5%.
Okay. Okay.
Which makes a very large difference in
Yes. Yeah.
valuation of the property, because through utilizing your income and expense approach here by using a 7.5%, that projects this property at $1.3 million as a total appraised.
Mm-hmm.
And give me just a moment, I can come up with what the total is for both pieces here, because it is on two separate.
Is that on the income approach you're talking about?
Yes. There are actually two separate pieces here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me calculate both of these together. And I think what our presiding was getting ready to ask there, one of these buildings is an office, correct?
Lots. So the two that I have in front of me, I don't think it is just a clubhouse. I think it's lots. So lots, it's like lots 51 through 53 in a subdivision, and then lots 54 through 60, 65 through 67.
Right. One of them's got a physical office unless there's a bed inside the office.
Correct. Yes, one of these lots that it's listing, one of those is the community room.
And that has.
Or the office, community room / office.
Correct.
So it does then. So wouldn't it be a fair statement that physical building there should not be a part of the equation of this income and approach? I mean, you guys don't make income off the office, correct?
Correct.
That would be a part
And
of the
wouldn't
42.
Wouldn't it be assessed as commercial rather than residential also?
Correct.
We don't normally split out the clubhouse from them. I haven't in all of my re-evaluating of all of these. I haven't had anybody split that office out from the other buildings.
No, you're right, but your direct competitor, if he had an office building for the other 67 duplexes in that subdivision, he'd be hit for commercial assessed.
Correct.
Is my point.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be a true statement, wouldn't you think?
You're asking me if I agree with you?
Yeah, would that be
I mean, I think, yes, I think if this wasn't considered, this Section 42 property, that, yeah, it would be considered a commercial property. But since this is one property, I don't see them splitting it out like that.
Well, I mean, if it's a 42 property, it goes off of the income in that. but the
Mhm.
office would be commercial, which wouldn't fall under the 42, I would think.
Correct, yeah, and I think, so it wouldn't be physically split out like a separate parcel and a separate tax bill, but, um, it would be an understanding probably that physical building ought to be, the land and the building itself ought to be assessed as commercial.
Okay. Can I put you on hold for just a second?
Sure.
I just want to make sure that there's not something that I am missing with
Sure.
what you guys are saying. So hang on just a second, okay?
Yeah.
I would agree that the office would be commercial. Because they're basing everything off of income, expenses.
So are we looking at 8 total duplexes?
No, there's, I think there's 27. There's 19 on one piece
And the value of really truly is.
and 6 on the others. So 25.
So there's
24 duplexes in all.
24.
Usually their income being subsidized.
Just a second.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
So you get,
Hey, I know you were talking to Allison a minute ago. So the clubhouse is part of the residential development. It's under the LURA with everything else, and that's how it's zoned, and that's how it's handled as part of the residential development. It's not a commercial building. It's not available for commercial use. It's only available for the residents who live in the property.
Okay, that was my next question, to see if you guys had a Laurel agreement that's been filed.
We do. Do you need us to send you a copy?
It would help for us to place in the file, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. We can send that over.
So the lady we were speaking to a while ago, this is Daniel Whittle, County Assessor, and I was questioning who had came up with a 12.55% cap rate for the valuation of the property and how.
Yeah, so every county, and we've got properties in nearly every county in the state, every county comes up with their own. So that's just what we've seen other people use, but you can use whatever rate you feel is appropriate. We just try to do a calculation to send over as an example based on what we're seeing other counties use. But if you don't feel that's appropriate, that's okay. We can revise it to a cap rate that you feel is more appropriate.
Yeah, so our effective tax rate at the location of where this is at, the effective tax rate, I believe, is 4.2115%. And then, you multiply that times the 19%, you come up with 0.80. And I think as a reasonable interest loan on that property, and add that effective tax rate multiplied times the residential assessment, I think the 7.5 would be a pretty reserved, I think, interest cap rate on this property, which makes a huge difference on your bottom line.
Sure. So what would that put the value at?
That would place the value at 1.322 million.
Sorry, I'm figuring out which property you're talking about. Are you? That's the guy here. So you're talking about Waynesville Family Homes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see 2 parcels, it looks like.
That's correct.
Okay, and you would put the total of the 2 parcels at what?
At the 1.322 million. That would be utilizing the cap rate of 7.5%. Now, the other part of this is don't you all get subsidized from the federal government for this type of housing?
Subsidized in what sense? Like we get tax credits, which is why there's a LURA on the property, because our rents are artificially lowered because we're getting assistance.
Right, but then don't you guys sell those tax credits to investors?
Yes, which becomes the equity in the development, yeah.
And then you do not have to report that income you make, correct?
Well, it's not income, it's equity.
It's income.
So,
same thing.
Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's quite different.
so where does that money go that you guys that you guys get from the investors that buy those tax credits that put them in different tax brackets when they file their income taxes. Where does that money physically go when you guys
It's
get?
used to build the development.
So you guys,
But what those companies do with their tax credit has nothing to do with you guys. That their
No,
tax credit,
no,
what they do.
you're correct. We're talking about the money though that you receive from those entities that purchase those tax credits. Where does that?
Yeah, it's used to build the development. It's the equity in the development. So when you go out and you invest in a property, a development, whether it's an affordable property or not, you've got a mortgage, and then you have people who invested in the property. Those are the two pieces. Whether it's affordable or regular property makes no difference. Those are the two pieces that go into financing the development. Those tax credits that we sold to the investor, that's the equity that they put back into the development. It's not income. It is equity they provided. Just like if you went out and found an investor who wanted to put money in the development, it's equity. It has nothing to do with income.
So if Waynesville Family Homes turned around and sold this property next week, do all of these investors get a portion of what you sold that property for also?
Okay, first of all, you can't sell a property like this. It's under a LURA, which is the whole point. It's under a land use restriction agreement, which means you can't just go out and sell it to anybody you want to. You have to have not only approval from the investors, but the state has to sign off that they would approve that it be sold, and it can only be sold to someone else who would agree to the LURA on that property as well, so that it has to stay low income. It can only be rented to households who make 60% or less of the area median income, and the rents are restricted to the amount that the state puts on them. So there is no turning around and just selling it. There's no open market for this type of development.
No, you're correct. But now, doesn't the Laurel agreements expire?
After either 15 or 30 years.
And which one are you guys on?
I'd have to look at this particular property and see, but when we send the LURA over to you, it'll show.
Okay. So after that Laurel would expire, you guys could in turn sell the property to the open market, correct?
You could, but there are still restrictions for an additional 3 years after that, after the LURA expires, that you still can't move anybody out who's affordable. You can't increase their rents. So there's still a 3-year basically period even after the LURA expires that you have to keep the property affordable so that the tenants living there have the ability to find something else affordable until the property moves into a market rate. After that, yes, it could be sold at that point. Again, whether it's 15 or 30 years, there's still that 3 years after.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So has rents that's paid for by the tenants gone up in the last 4 years?
Yeah, they usually go up about 2 to 3% per year.
Okay.
That's the cap that the state puts on it for us. It's usually tied to the Social Security COLA increase.
Okay.
Could you give me your email address one more time? Oh, wait, maybe she's got it. Hold on. Is it the collector at PulaskiCollector.com?
That'd be the
assessor at.
Yeah, the assessor at Pulco Assessor. But it'd be best to send it to D Whittle, WHITTLE at.
Is it B as in boy or D as in dog?
It's D as in Daniel.
Okay. Daniel, WHITTLE?
Yes.
Okay.
At PulcoAssessor.com.
Pulco. Okay, yeah, we'll send that over. And then it'll show on there, and we'll read through it too before we send it over and clarify whether it's in the 15 or 30 years also. And then we can also, kind of give you an idea of when that would basically be up.
Okay.
And then we can send that over too.
Sure.
Would that work?
Yes, ma'am. And I've got one more question, and that's on the utilities. So the folks that rent these properties, the utilities are paid?
So generally, the tenants pay electric, and then we pay water, sewer, trash.
And that was $33,000.
If that's what's on the financials, then yes. Water, sewer is usually pretty expensive at these properties.
Okay.
So I'm going numbers blind here. Can I ask a silly question?
Sure.
So so if we go with the 7.5%, you've got the appraised value on these properties at 1.322. What are they asking it to be appraised at?
$790,000, which is that.
Okay. So that's what, okay.
Yeah.
I was going numbers blind and I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
So we're $400,000 apart or something.
Yeah, 600,000. No.
Yeah, but again,
No, yeah.
we were just using the cap rate that we're seeing in other counties in Missouri. We're open to whatever cap rate, again, that you guys think is appropriate. So if you think the 7 point whatever is appropriate, then we're fine with making an adjustment accordingly. We just send the calculation over based on what we're seeing in other counties.
Okay.
I mean, if they'll agree to the 7.5%, I don't know if we're.
Yeah, they'll win the state,
I don't know
with the
if we'll
7.5.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I say.
just go with the 7.5 is what I
You're
would
not gonna
say.
beat the federal government.
You know.
And I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time. Maybe he's not talking to me. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
having a hard time.
I'm talking,
I-
we're talking about the 7.5%.
I mean, if you guys are in
Okay.
agreement with that, I think we're in agreement with
We're in
that.
agreement.
Okay, yeah, could you just send, like I said, we'll send the Lura over, and then if you could send back even just an email that says what the amount is that you're looking at, and then we'll just go through and kind of do our calculation of the 19% based then times whatever the estimated tax levy is, just so we kind of have an estimate as to what the bill is going to come in compared to where our budget's at. And then as long as everything's okay, we'll just send you an email back that we're in agreement, and then we can move forward if that works.
All right.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.